glad to be back. But then there are special, special moments that really touch your heart. Not only is my boy RC in the studio, suited down, ready to go for first take, but the one, the only, the ultimate insider himself, Mr. Adam Schefter is in the house. I feel so privileged. Hold on, get emotional right now. First takes in the house. Holla at your boy. Woo!
Just because we signed him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously. We've signed, I remember signing a player for the highest paid at the position in the league, and he got knocked out 2/3 of the year, Dak Prescott. So there's a lot of things you can think about when you, just as the player does, when you're thinking about committing and guaranteeing money.
Go around the league and you see these other teams taking care of their best guys. I see TJ got taken care of. Max got taken care of. Miles got taken care of. And he got 2 years left on his deal. So it's hard to, you see a lot of people around the league getting taken care of. You just, wish you had something that, that same type of energy. If they don't want me here, they don't want me here. I'll go about my business. I understand the nature of the business.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Stephen A. already introducing everyone. RC all warmed up. Great to have you in the building.
Thank you, Molly.
Of course, Adam Schefter.
Great
Top
to be
of the
here.
morning to you. SA, how we feeling from the West Coast?
Well, first of all, I want to give the producers props. That's first things first, because the producers have me on the big screen. Very, very important. The fact that they got me on the big screen instead of that little damn screen over on the side, that's very important. Having said that, I will confess, even though I feel proud of them for that, it's not like I deserve it by myself. My man RC and the one and only Adam Schefter in the house. They deserve the big stage, too. So I stand there.
All right, well, let's give them that today, SA, and let's dive right in. We played the back and forth from Cowboys owner Jerry Jones and their star defensive player Micah Parsons, because the saga continues. The number 12 overall pick in the 2021 draft is entering the final year of his rookie contract and has been one of the best players at his position since he stepped into the league. He's made the Pro Bowl every year of his career. Earlier this week, Stephen Jones had this to say to folks who think the Cowboys have been dragging this deal out with Micah. Take a listen.
We don't drag deals out. We do deals when there's an opportunity to do a deal. And certainly no one knows what goes on internally with a particular negotiation, but sometimes agents and players aren't ready to pull the trigger till they see other cards play. And what we're not going to do is go out and do something that's not responsible in terms of just in the name of getting a deal done 1 month earlier.
All right, Adam, we hear a lot, but you actually know what's going on. What's the latest with this Micah situation and the Cowboys? Are we close to a deal? What's happening?
There's been this sense and expectation that a deal for Micah Parsons in Dallas was inevitable, that it would get done at some point this offseason, this summer, before the season began. But if you listen to what everybody is saying, from Stephen Jones there to Jerry Jones to Micah Parsons, nobody has expressed a tone of optimism. And there's a reason for that. The two sides haven't had discussions, not only in weeks, but in months. Because I think you heard Stephen Jones say, we don't drag deals out. We do deals when there was an opportunity. The Dallas Cowboys thought there was an opportunity in late March and early April where they thought a deal would be getting done. And it didn't get done. At that point in time, Micah Parsons said, the deal has to go through my agent, when Micah and Jerry had been talking. And after that, talks died down. You heard Jerry Jones say, we've done deals with players that have been hurt, missed time. That's not something a player wants to hear. You heard Micah Parsons say, if they don't want me here, they don't want me here. I'll go about my business. You can't get a deal done when there's no conversation. They are further from a deal today than they were in late March. We are now 5 weeks from the opener, 35 days from tonight. The Dallas Cowboys are in Philadelphia to play the Eagles. Unless the two sides start talking, unless the two sides figure out a way to bridge their differences and get their hurt feelings out of the way. This is going to be interesting to see what happens and how Micah Parsons handles this. But the idea that a deal was inevitable and a formality needs to be dismissed right now. We'll see where this goes. Things can change quickly, but they are nowhere today. Nowhere, as RC can attest.
And that's the other part that Adam's saying, though. There aren't conversations taking place. Whenever you have a player of this magnitude and a deal of this magnitude, there's normally a ton to work out logistically, but you understand that it's going to get done. This is, and Stephen A knows so much about basketball, this is SGA getting the Supermax. You know exactly what the numbers are because we've seen what TJ Watt has received. We saw what Myles Garrett has received. And Micah Parsons is younger than those players and also as productive and as meaningful to his team. For the conversation to have gone from we're in a good place, we don't need agents to do this deal, to Micah Parsons saying out loud and publicly, if they don't want me, then I will go about my business. This is equivalent to being in a relationship and having to say, you know what, you don't have to kick me out, I'll pack my own bags. And Micah Parsons now, as he prepares to play a season, the Dallas Cowboys, as they prepare to compete in the NFC East, could be headed down the road where on Thursday night versus the Philadelphia Eagles, Micah Parsons is not in pads because he doesn't have a deal. I thought that to be an impossibility early on this
And let me say this before we get to Stephen A. You're saying we know the numbers. They're the Supermax numbers like SGA. And that is true. Micah Parsons is one of only 2 players in NFL history with at least 12 sacks in his first 4 seasons, with the other being Reggie White. But we also know these numbers, Ryan. He's under contract this year for $24 million. The Cowboys could tag him after this year for about $30 million. So the Dallas Cowboys could and would argue that they control Micah Parsons contractually for the next 2 years to the tune of $54 or so million. So if they don't get a deal done, then they don't get a deal done.
This is equivalent to like signing Dan Orlovsky, signing Mina Kimes, Marcus Spears, and Ryan Clark, and then telling Stephen A, hey, you know what, you go on. Like that. Like that's not the way. That's not the. Shut up, Stephen A. Hey,
there's a reason he's on the big screen.
Exactly. That's not the way it works, Stephen A. Like they don't work like that, bro.
Let me say this, man. Let me say this in all seriousness. We need to look at Jerry Jones and bring up the word bully or abuse in this particular situation as it pertains to Micah Parsons for this one reason. Y'all were conversing with one another until Micah Parsons brought his agent into the equation, and since that time, there have been no talks. We all know Jerry Jones to be an adroit, highly skilled, very successful businessman. That's his lane. And players, this is where corporate America really, really infuriates you. Executives want to cultivate a relationship with you just like you as a talent want to cultivate a relationship with players. But you don't want to do it at the expense of being at a decided disadvantage. So on one hand, it's incredibly important to cultivate that relationship, work it out in terms of recognizing who each other is and your level of communication with one another. But it's also understanding your lane. They wouldn't hesitate as businessmen to say to you, this ain't your lane. Step back, let us handle this in any other situation. But suddenly your contract comes in the fold and Jerry Jones don't want to talk to the businessman, he wants to talk to the player. You know, you want him out of position. We gotta rebut that. We've got to really, really challenge that and say that's not right. That's unfair to Micah Parsons, number one. Number two, we got to also pay attention to what's unfair to Micah Parsons from the standpoint, Micah Parsons wanted to sign a deal earlier. If Jerry Jones and the Cowboys had to